Good evening, everyone. I'm Cadarev. I will be running Tomb Raider 2, which is the second Tomb Raider, as you might expect. All time, that is, not any remakes, reboots, whatever. And luckily, I'm not alone. Hello, Toxic, my friend.
Hello, everyone.
You're very knowledgeable when it comes to this game, right?
Yeah, I'm very knowledgeable about classic Tomb Raiders because I ran AOD, which is literally a classic, except for the parts where it wasn't.
And I ran classics more intensively like 5 years ago, so I'm also more than qualified to run and comment on this game. Yeah, we'll just start right off the gate once I press new game, so that will be in 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah. So actually, you will see some weird stuff very soon. That is to say, on this corner. You will see a lot more of this stuff later on, so I will not explain this too much. What I will try to explain, though, is this. So this is a slippery slope, as you can see. But if you grab the ledge up here from the perfect distance, you basically don't get the sliding animation, and you will just grab the ledge, which allows us to skip some of these slopes. And there are certain animations in this game that are really slow that you want to avoid, such as like Lara getting up from ledges, like pulling herself up and stuff like that. So we try to avoid those whenever possible with jumps and whatnot. This one you can't avoid, it's like such a large gap. The only way to make it up here is just doing the normal stuff. And the bunnies are alive. Those are my bunnies, yes. Hello again, everyone. We'll take a big dive here. You can, or usually would, take that one a bit more tightly, but so one thing in this game is, or well, all of the Tomb Raider games that are before AOD, so the classic Tomb Raiders, there are no real checkpoints, especially on the PC version. You only have your own saves. So if you die, you go back to your last save file, if you made one, and if not, then not. So that's not very fun for a marathon. Which means that from time to time I will sprinkle in some saves where I usually wouldn't, just to be on the safe side. But yeah, obviously if you were to go for attempts, you will try to keep those saves to a minimum. Especially in like Tomb Raider 1, 2, 3, because the save menu is pretty slow. As you will see, we will use saves for some strats. It's pretty similar to how the item menu works here, so you will see like that Lara brings up her passport, you have to select that, then you have to like scroll around, select save, and so on. So it takes a while to create save files and load them, so usually you want to avoid them. You can see on some geometries like this, where just like the edges of objects touch, you can kind of jump in between them without having to move the block. And this looks slow, but this is actually the fastest way to make it through here. So instead of just wading forward into the deep water, we jump into it, which also gives us a slight boost. And from time to time, you will see me draw my weapons for no apparent reason. So when you have weapons out in this game, it will prevent like the camera from changing, because there was a trigger there that without my weapons being drawn would have shown me like the trap coming up behind me, and that would obviously make it a lot more difficult to maneuver. And also when you have your weapons out, you turn faster when you're in place. I forgot to whatever. You also see me use some flares. Oh god, please make it. Okay, good. So flares we will mainly use because when you... What am I doing? When you discard them before you land from a higher distance, you would then, or you will cancel the stumble animation that would usually happen. So usually from like 2 blocks of height, Lara would spend like 2 seconds slowly getting back into her normal running animation again. If you discard a flare just before that, you can immediately run and skip all of that. And that was the first level, Great Wall. Now we're in Venice.
Yeah, so what happened on the previous level? Lara was searching for a dagger of Xi'an, but she couldn't get to it because there is a gigantic gate that is blocking her way. And she got attacked by some bandit who was apparently working for someone named Bartoli. And Bartoli is a leader of a cult that is also trying to get to that dagger. And she learned that he might actually be here in Venice. So we're going to be potentially swimming a lot here, but also jumping on those rooftops.
Yeah, so we will take quite the unconventional way out of this level, but the start is somewhat normal. You may have seen me there at the start do some weird upclip again, just like at the start of Great Wall. So that's kind of the main thing we will try to do, is embed ourselves in the geometry, because in the classic Tomb Raiders, when you embed yourself into like quote unquote out of bounds, the game tries to push you out on top of whatever you embed into. And in cases where the top of that is like normal, walkable space, that is very beneficial, because that allows us to obviously cut out quite some level by just taking the fast way up. There are some spots where that does not help, because the top, wherever we would get pushed out, is not solid. Then you are actually you have some problems, but hopefully we'll not encounter that. But yeah, like the main kind of glitch / tricks that we'll use usually revolve around embedding ourselves into various geometries. You see a boat there. We're supposed to ride a boat around this level and also use it to explode these mines here, and obviously open this gate, but we will not do that this way. We will do it a different way. So if you do a swan dive into a somewhat precise spot here, you get this weird tilt. And to make this trick more consistent, I will save and immediately load. Discard my flare, and if I wiggle against this gate, I will pass through, and there we go. And now we're in a boat, because you're supposed to leave the previous level in a boat. And now we exit the boat, and we will never be inside a boat again, so that's that. I have to get rid of these rats, because they can, or usually will disrupt the setup here. So we want to, again, kind of walk into this geometry, and it pushes us out on top. And now we just want to go down this hallway, pull the lever to open up a gate further back in the level. I did not stop early enough. There we go. And we're on our merry way.
And for this next one, if I recall correctly, you need an actual flare to do the that corner bug, right?
This one we don't know. So this one is basically just kind of a nice... like it just works out nicely, where it also helps us like see in that dark corridor, but we actually only need this one to, again, do a stumble cancel at the end. You will see that hopefully soon enough. This is a place where I will actually save, just to be sure, because if I drop down here, that would be very ungood. But here we are. So I will now reach this platform, and then I will drop down to the left and immediately flare cancel the stumble, hopefully. There we go. But at the end of this level, we'll actually use a flare for a different glitch other than stumble cancels. This flare again will be for canceling this stumble. You can see me just kind of jumping through the fence there. So a lot of these fences have like specific spots where you can just pass through them. You will see a few more of those later on. And yeah, we're approaching the end of this level. I will bait these guys over here after they hopefully, yes, destroy the windows. That's good.
Yeah, if you just rush through, there's a good chance that you will just get killed immediately if you're unlucky.
So especially like gun enemies in this game and dogs, they're like infamous for draining your health very rapidly. So here at a somewhat precise spot, I will drop my flare, and while moving forward, I will pick it up, and that embeds me into the geometry. And as you might expect, eventually, once we're done with picking it up, we pop out on top. So that's like an alternative use for the flare, which allows us to reach the level end early. That's Bartoli's hideout. Now we go into the Opera House, which is a pretty infamous level for casual play because it takes a very long time, but in the speedrun it's actually one of the shortest ones, which is good. So first we embed ourselves in this wall. Then we have to cross quite the gap here. Another player cancel. Here we use a setup to get on top of this specific geometry. You're supposed to collect a key and open the gate behind us, but by embedding ourselves here, we can get to the rooftop immediately. One thing we haven't mentioned yet is you obviously see me jump a lot, so during a jump, that's like the highest speed you can obtain. So we want to kind of make sure we jump as much as possible. This game does not have a sprint yet. That was introduced in Tomb Raider 3. So Tomb Raider 1 and 2, you will see runners always do these jumping sequences to optimize speediness. And you already saw like a gap there in between the wall and the floor, so this is like a pretty obvious skip you can do. And now we will do the main skip in this level, so we can actually already kind of reach the end of the level by doing what we call a banana jump around this wall here to reach the balcony early, skipping pretty much the entire level, or most of it, like all of the puzzles and stuff. And now we just have to make our way to the end of it, past these swinging boxes that actually deal quite a bit of damage. This should be fine.
Yeah, as long as you don't get hit by them, you're fine. There are dogs there, but they usually don't reach you at that point.
Yes. If you, like, take too long, then that can be bad, but... Like, dogs don't hit you while you're in the air, but if they, like, kind of what we call do a dog drain, so they just, like, stick to you and you are in their active hitbox, your health will just melt away. Which can definitely occur also later on in the run. So yeah, now we got kind of captured, and we don't have any weapons, and that's not good. So our first goal will be to get our weapons back. And then we will get to the first instance of what we call a QWOP, which is something lore-wise that probably only the boomers among us will remember. So QWOP was a Flash game that was popular during the Dark Ages, where you had to control a sprinter, but you had to like manually input the movements for like the thighs and the ankles and whatnot. And the animations you would get are somewhat reminiscent of the animation we will get during that glitch, but more on that soon. Save here because I want to. Oh god, what is this? Good thing I did the save there because never mind, this will work, of course. Yeah. So you can again pass through this fence pretty easily there if you find or hit the correct spot. And there are these two guys. One of them drops the keycard that we need to open the gate. The other one drops a large medkit, which is pretty nice in general. So we kind of want to stock up on medkits. You always get a full health refill on a level transition, but else you can only heal with medkits. And we will need a lot of them later on. So since when you interact with objects, you're always in a set position, there is a good setup here to use because we want to get in a very specific spot. Because if we now jump at this very specific spot, you may have seen like Lara's animation there was a bit weird, and I'm not jumping right now because I only want to jump in a somewhat specific spot here, and that will initiate the QWOP. So Lara will now sink halfway into the floor and her animation is frozen. And now I have a very limited time, after which she will fully go through the floor and pop up on the other side. And that allows us to skip right past that gate. Save here because this guy can be a bully. I'm not sure why I made the save after I climbed up. That's not very smart. But obviously it works out. Yeah, this guy can easily ruin your runs. There is an alternative strat here that is actually faster, but quite a bit more difficult. That involves just ignoring that guy and... Well, actually, no, you don't ignore him. You use his pickup that he drops to embed into the wall on the other side of the level, but... Yeah, I haven't learned that yet. And maybe never will. So yeah, since we were able to clip to the top there, that was quite a sequence break. I hope I didn't mess this up. We shall see. That's definitely not. What am I... Okay, let me save first. So you will see me go into the pause menus like this. So this allows us to kind of dual frame advance, if you will. So for every pause, we advance 2 frames, which allows us to use that for precise inputs for setups. And in this case, that was necessary because you have to kind of get a max distance jump and grab there to reach that other side. Since usually, as you may have seen, there's supposed to be water in the pool, but since we sequence broke, there was no water, so not good. But that's the end of this level. Diving area, which will have 2 of those quaps I just showed you later on in the level. Until we get there, we have to do, or we are supposed to do, some climbing. There is a huge ladder in this level, but luckily we don't really have to.
It takes like a minute to climb.
Yeah, like glitchless or whatever, like casual play, it's horrible. Like the climbing animations in the classics is not very fast. But as you have seen so far, going up sometimes can be pretty easy when you have glitches. So let's see how that goes. Yeah. Like you can't see how much we skipped there, but don't worry, we will see it soon enough. What am I doing? Yeah, I need these pickups. Because we will go down that ladder and climb it up again soonish. But first we need another keycard. I will already try to damage this guy a bit. He's in a very bad position. Okay, somehow this worked. Yeah, this is the keycard. And now we go into that tunnel over there. And this actually loops around to that ladder. So now we have to first, like you're supposed to obviously go, like just latch onto it here and climb up. But it's actually faster to first drop all the way down and then clip up again. That's how, like, you can kind of get a feeling here for how long this ladder is. I always pop out here lately. Yeah. So now we go the exact same way again, except this time we also kill the guy. And now that we have the keycard, we can continue on. Okay. Almost pushed me off. Not
Continue
like that
on to the
happen.
good stuff.
Yeah. So this door we open. The other one would open, but there's another door behind that would not open. And that we want to open. And we will open it, but not how we're supposed to, I guess. So I'm doing another setup here. I will save, and then I will again jump. I need to keep holding forward while I'm in this kind of pre-quap state, or else I will lose the quap. And then again here I have to kind of like waste time, so I hit the correct timing until when Lara goes beneath the floor. Because against these gates I cannot like jam myself like for the first quap that I did. There you just like keep the quap while you go against the door. On these doors you can't do that. And now we just go back to get another quap. To skip the second part there. Okay, that didn't work. Yeah, it's a pretty precise jump you have to do here. And it's the save. I might be late. Yeah, that doesn't look good yet. So this is what happens when you end up out of bounds without a way to go back in bounds. You just like fall forever. Obviously not desirable, so let's do that again. You only want to like briefly jam yourself against that door, and this should be okay. Yep, so now we're on the other side of this, and now we can just, like basically the rest is just us running to the end of the level.
Nice, to the very good cutscene.
Well, yes, with the very good voice acting.
Yeah, voice acting we will hear, but the cutscene we will skip, sorry.
Exactly. Actually, we will not really... Well, there are some cutscenes you can skip, but most of them can completely avoid.
Okay, Marco. Glad to have your heart. What do you want? Come on, stick to your stomach. Tell me where in monastery should we look? Brother?
So there was a monk guy there that got roughened up by those guys. And they were saying something about a monastery. I wonder if that will come into play later on in the run. But
Yeah, he was also talking about the artifact called Cadarev,
yes.
which is supposed to be used to gain access to the actual artifact that Lara was hunting in the very first level of the game. So now she's thrilled with the idea of acquiring that. And it's allegedly should be somewhere around here, but it will be a while before we get to it.
Yeah, the next few levels we're in this shipwreck, Maria Doria, somewhere at an undisclosed location. And as you can see, that comes with an outfit change. Not too much going on here at the start. It's just like you're dropped into like the sea, and there's not too much you can do glitch-wise when you're diving. Like there are some possibilities, but none of them are useful here at the start. Just have to make our way further into the level first.
And try to not suffocate.
Yeah. Here I want to grab the ledge on the very right side, because that allows me to get into a good position for the next clip. So if you hold if you hold roll while jumping into like the edge of a, I don't know what you want to call it, ledge or something, you can clip on top of it. That was like one of the instances of that. We'll see more of that later. And here, obviously, this is not quite how you're supposed to get past this, but luckily we have a medkit that we can heal to counter. No, we can use to counter heal us. There we go.
Yes, please do that.
Not kill us. Yeah, so fire obviously can only be extinguished either by leaving the level or by going into water. And luckily there is water just behind that door. So it's actually worth it to just take the damage and counter heal it instead of like deactivating the fire stuff. And yeah, we don't do that stuff.
Yeah, we're also starting to encounter very scary fishes there, and some of them will be actually quite dangerous to the run later.
Yeah. Especially the big kind. More flare cancelling. Should be second nature at this point.
Did we talk about how you get flares? Do you get a set amount per each level?
You actually have to pick them up. So they're one of the pickups I do. Each flare pack gives you 6 flares. You start out with 2. But if you're in a pickup animation underwater and you hit the flare key, she lights basically an invisible flare. So you get a free flare for that. We did that already once in the tutorial level that I didn't talk about. Here I do a setup because if you hit the intersection between the wall and the floor exactly with a swan dive, you don't take fall damage. That's
very
useful.
Nice.
And now, once we exit this water, first of all, hopefully we don't get pushed back into it. And otherwise, we have to also counter heal the damage because there's one shotgun guy here and one wrench guy. And as you can see, they can be very not helpful. But that was only a small medkit. So there are 2 variants of medkits in this game. Small medkits heal you for 50% of your health, and large ones for all of it. Instant refill. This is a large one. Quite far. Oh my god. That still worked, sure. Yeah, there's a small like time save here instead of like, yeah, whatever. Trust me, it's save time. In the next room, this actually requires quite a bit of setup. So there are 2 gun guys and 1 wrench guy. The wrench guy we kind of want to pre-damage because we want him to die in a somewhat specific spot next to the wall. So we can use his pickup or the stuff he drops to pick it up while embedding into the wall, which will allow us to get on top of the wall, as you might expect. So these guys we have to get rid of. Then we wait until he's right behind us, turn around here. This will make him climb up. We hug the wall. We shoot him twice, and then once he's there, we shoot him again. So now we can use his large medkit to embed into the wall, turn around, and then when we roll, we're on top.
Very good.
Yeah, this can go horribly wrong, as you might expect. There are quite a few variables coming into play there. And obviously you can only go for this once, because you only get the pickup once. Ends the saves. Now the rest, or well, yeah, pretty much the rest of this run, this level is pretty, I don't know, uneventful. It's swimming and running, mainly swimming. So let's see how that goes. There is one guy here right around the corner, which is why I will draw my weapons again. You saw he dropped a small medkit, which is basically right along the way, so that I will also try to pick up. I have two opportunities for that, since I have to go into a room right behind him. I will do a jumping sequence here. If I don't end up right on the medkit, then I will just pick it up on the way back, because like this next door is actually timed, so okay, I jumped past it, so I will pick it up later on. This door is now, like now it will say open, and this is by the way a flare pack. So now we'll just pick up the small medkit on my way back. Yeah, apart from flares, I will pick up a variety of ammo. Right now our strongest weapon are the automatic pistols. Can you please pick up the... Oh my god. Thank you. But we will get some stronger weapons soon-ish.
Yeah, pistols have infinite ammo.
The
other
default
weapons,
ones, yes.
Yeah, the default ones.
The automatic already have like ammo, but like the ammo is somewhat plentiful. Also, these are the big fish we kind of don't want to get too close to. If you're like below 50% health, they can one-shot eat you. That's not desirable. Actually, I will save here.
I would as well.
Yeah. And here you can see another one of these insta-flares, as we call them. So this flare that she just lit does not subtract one flare from my flare count. It's a free flare. And I will hopefully use it to do another flare cancel. Oh my god, why is he so close? But actually this is like pretty tightly timed. So if I bonk or anything like that, the flare will run out before... Or actually it will run out at pretty much the worst possible time, because it will run out during the jump that I want to flare cancel. So Lara will drop the flare too early, and at the same time too late for me to pull out a new one. So you have to kind of be aware of that. Here we will go through the trapdoor without opening it by jumping at a somewhat precise spot, like that. And I think this should still be fine for the flare. As long as it's not blinking while you're already jumping, it's fine, yeah. But you can see now it starts blinking, so it's somewhat tight. Now this is the AK. This will be our weapon of choice later on. Oh my god, what's with my health? Was not where it was that low. I guess it was still kind of a wasted small medkit, but yeah, you're never sure how long the pistol or the gun guys like still keep shooting at you, so I'd rather be safe than sorry there. And yeah, that brings us to living quarters, the second to last level on this ship. And I will save immediately at the start here, because we kind of want to do a setup to go through the trapdoor again. So we kind of want to just scrape by this small tunnel there, and then here we want to end up close to it, turn around. Okay, and then we should go through it. There we go. Now here's the AK. It's a bit loud, or louder at least. Here we want to line up a corner clip. So we want to go up. You can kind of get stuck here, so just in case. No, that's good. And the flare, as you might expect, is to cancel a stumble here. And that was another sequence break, so you will soon see that the next segment of the level is supposed to be drained, but it is clearly not. So you will have a fire being lit underwater.
This is fine.
Yes. Yeah, you can see it there. And now we make our way to the second half of this level, which is a nightmare for me in DB attempts, so expect some saving. There is quite a bit of stuff going on. Also, there are eels. Hello. So first we will set up another one of those things where I have to press roll in midair while I hit the edge of a block. For this we have kind of a setup after getting out of the water there, so that clips me up. Good. Then let's see how this goes. Probably poorly, but I will try my best. Yeah, that will not make it to the other side, but at least I didn't bonk. Still got chewed on by the fish.
Yeah, walking in the water is extremely slow.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. It's one of those horribly slow animations that you kind of want to avoid. Here is another one of these ledge grabs on a slippery slope, where you have to grab the ledge on just the right frame, basically. And now the exciting final part of the level begins. So here's another fence clip. Then we shoot this guy. We definitely save for this because we kind of need another one of these max distance jumps. Oh god, my health. Yeah, so you kind of have to manage quite a few things here. Okay, actually the health is not as bad as I thought. Okay, that's fine. Looks more deceptive than it is. Or, no, it is more deceptive than it looks. There we go, that's what I wanted to say. That makes more sense. Another ledge grab here. Actually, quite a sequence of them here. All of these slopes that I jump, like, across are slippery, including this one. And again, you want to be in a specific position, so you grab the... That's not what I wanted. I have to drop back down because I want to shimmy to the very left. Because this leads into another setup for a ledge grab. Okay, surprised that worked. And then, why am I saving here already? Whatever. So now I want to do what is called a clamp. So I will wedge myself, oh god, okay, that's why I saved. I will wedge myself between some geometry, which will then hopefully eventually push me out on top. You will hopefully get to see that in a more successful variant now. There we go.
Nice.
And that's the key we need to exit the level. So now all we have to do is just get all the way back down again. Yeah, jumped early, whatever. We pick up some grenade launcher ammo here. Grenade launcher will make the final boss, quote unquote, super trivial. But yeah, we will conserve our grenade launcher ammo until later on. Have to do with the AK until then. And this is what we need the key for. And that brings us to Tibet, which is very snowy. And obviously we will not traverse such a snowy area on foot, eventually.
Right.
We need something else.
Lara, you could see her picking up that golden artifact at the end of the last level. That was the Seraph that the monk was talking about. Now she's trying to get to the monastery in Tibet, but her plane crashed, so now we have to get to the monastery on foot, or more or less on foot. And yeah.
Sure, that works. Oh god, that works. Yes. Definitely landed there.
No
Yes.
panic.
No panic at all. Yeah, you may see a vehicle of some sorts there that we will now rapidly approach with some pretty good tunes eventually.
This thing is very tricky to control.
What am I doing? Can you? Yeah, as you might be able to tell.
Yeah. Especially, it's difficult when you're trying to align it to something, and the
Exactly.
camera is positioned in a way where you can't really see what you're aligning to.
Yeah, this should be fine, but I'll still save. Yeah.
Also worth noting that this thing is extremely fragile, so you don't really want to jump from a very big heights.
Yeah, by big heights, toxic means like 1 meter of distance.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, terrible. It will instantly explode, and Lara with it. Please, thank you. I'll try to take a shortcut here. Good. This is where, like, there is a boost. Well, you can boost the velocity of the Skidoo, but there you actually, if you do that on that, like, particular downward slope, exactly what Toxic mentioned earlier happens. Since you get too much airtime, the Skidoo will explode on impact, which is not fun. Kind of a beginner trap there. Or just an oversight, I don't know. So we'll park the Skidoo in a somewhat specific spot on this icy lake. Make our way around here. Explode stuff. And now the icy lake will be not very icy anymore. But you can see our Skidoo is kind of hovering in midair, which is kind of where we want it. So we get the key here for a gate at pretty much the hut where we got this Skidoo. Why am I going this way? So now we go all the way back again. Fun times. Except without the music, which makes the return trip significantly worse.
Absolutely.
So this is the slope I was talking about earlier. If you boost down this slope, not good. But you need to boost, like, to get across certain gaps. So it is like a required thing that you have to do in some places. Yeah, this is one thing. Like, now the windshield is blocking my visual cues, so I'll just save. I think this is good, yeah. And here we kind of want to land on this small ledge here. Otherwise, if like we just drop straight down, the Skidoo would explode again. But that kind of gives us a bit more distance, so we don't have as high of a fall. And that's the Skidoo for now.
It will return.
Continued, yeah. Not that one. The next one actually will not have a boost, sadly. But it will have machine guns that are somewhat useless, except for when they're not. But yeah, this is where the key goes. And all of that just to pull a lever inside, which opens up another gate. Some more ammo if I would not run past it. Good one, Rocky.
I get it.
Gonna get ambushed here. And now down here there's another guy in a skidoo. So if you're on foot and a skidoo touches you, you're one shot dead. Which is not good. So you definitely want to make sure to kill him. Because then we can use the skidoo.
Yeah, thankfully it doesn't explode because we actually shoot the guy.
Yeah, obviously very accurately.
Yep.
We needed to make it across this thing here. But yeah, since this one doesn't have a boost, it's kind of like always a bit finicky there on the slope. And here you actually, I have to still not accelerate down here. If I were to just hold forward, you would still die, just like flying over that ledge. Oh my god, why are they driving past me? Where is the other guy? Hello, thank you. And now I will park it in a somewhat specific spot. For reasons. If it would stop getting stuck on the... Oh my god, now I have to readjust again. This is maybe fine.
Is it?
Yes, it is. Because now we can pull the block for a magic trick. Skidoo vanished, and then we make it appear again. And we make the wall disappear.
Insane.
Thank you. And that's the end of Tibetan foothills. Now we enter the monastery. Did I almost pull a flare or what?
In the monastery, we will see monks who are not hostile to us until we shoot them, which we definitely don't want to do.
Correct.
But thankfully, we run away from them anyway by doing this corner bug.
So that, yeah, obviously is quite a nice shortcut. Also more grenade ammo here for later on. If you continuously run and jump against like these sort of very thin windows slash walls, you will eventually clip through them. We will use that again later on. And there is another ladder here that we can skip in the pretty well established way by now. Yeah, so there you see. So if we were to shoot a monk, they would be also hostile on sight. So they kind of like switch allegiance. I don't know. All of a sudden they think the other guys are very cool. Okay, there, nice. Let me. So there is a trigger here that I want to avoid, in case that's not clear. That's better. You will see what happens when I go back here. So there's then another one of these things. So the boulder traps. But on the way back, I don't really care too much. How will I care about that? And maybe remember at the very start, I jumped between the block and the wall. I do the same here. And we will do it soon again. But first, to get over this, pick up this prayer wheel. So the big gate at the end of this level is only unlocked if you insert the 5 prayer wheels throughout this level into the receptacles. So we have 1.
And we will definitely collect the rest of them, right? Right?
Anyways, so yes. Yeah. Well, look, another magic trick. Cool. Yes. Here, next flare pickup. One of the last ones. And here, You can now kind of see the trigger thingy that I was skipping earlier. Soon, at least. Or you can hear it, at least. Hello? A setup here for another one of those swan dives where I try to hit the floor and the wall at the same time. And we will make our way to the end of the level with our 5 prayer wheels.
Are you absolutely sure you have 5?
Actually, let me save. I'm not quite sure. Okay, there's one. And oh, there's another one.
Okay, I will believe you just this once, but
Oh, okay. I guess we just keep inserting the serif then.
how does he do that?
Yeah, so if you only have one prayer wheel and you like I don't interact with the resettables here, I actually bring up the item menu manually. You can also see the serif doesn't rotate anymore, it's kind of frozen. For some reason you can kind of duplicate the... Well, you don't really duplicate the praying wheels, you just insert it as if you had them, which is obviously very helpful. And there goes the serif. And now we go into the catacombs, where we'll encounter some very interesting enemies.
Very interesting. But yeah, Seraph was supposed to be used to unlock this part of the monastery, the catacombs, and in this part we will get another artifact which will allow us to open the gate, which you could see at the very, well, partially could see very at the very beginning of the run, where the Dagger of Cheyenne is supposed to be. So now we're trying to acquire that so we can finally get to the beginning again.
Okay.
Very good enemies.
Enemies very much in need of a hug, apparently. Here we will soon pick up a mask, which is kind of a key. Just go with it. Okay, I guess they're all on lunch break. Okay, so I don't have to waste another medkit. You can see my health is already blinking, which is what happens when you're on low health. But we should be good for the rest of this level. Turn around. Should make it out before these crush me. And now we want to get on the other side of this wall ahead of me, which we will hopefully soon do.
Yeah, the jump at the top here is kind of tricky because you'll be jumping at a sort of an angle, not just straight at it, which might make it a bit dangerous. Definitely worth saving.
Yeah, like the camera is not behind you for most of the run-up, so it's actually it's okay. And yeah, since I'm already at such low health, I actually have to take the slow route here and slowly go down the ladder. If you don't have blinking health, you can just drop down and take the fall damage.
Disgusting.
And this is Ice Palace, which has trampolines.
Yeah, this is the last level of Tibet.
I'm very far away from the thing. Never in doubt. Yeah, we can embed into the wall there during the bouncing animation. Also AK noises. Here we don't actually have to pick up the mask. It already opens the gate we want to get past by just touching that pedestal pretty much. And the rest we do in other creative ways. Hopefully. Oh god, what am I doing? Yeah, that's... Yeah. Definitely how I always do it, yep. Perfect.
Never in doubt.
No, no, absolutely not. So by pulling this lever, the cauldron will flip and will release the hot liquid, which will melt the ice, which will make us pick up this spoon, which is actually a whatever you use to hit gongs with, that we will not use. I also would like to not get pushed. Enemies. Fun. Can you stop? Oh my god.
I suspect you're very unwelcome there.
Yes. Jesus. I really don't want to waste the medkit. I mean, I could probably, but I shouldn't have to, let's say like that.
I mean, if you have only last boss left, then
Yeah.
probably should be fine, maybe.
So we will encounter... Actually, I will take damage during the fall. So maybe I will die. I don't know. It's a learning experience for me as well. It's definitely not the amount of health I would usually want to be at. What am I doing? That's the save button. Don't hit that. Yeah, I didn't die. Don't worry about it. Okay, never mind. Can I hit the roll button though? Thank you. That is another one of these thin walls, as like with the window earlier in the monastery. And now we will trigger the boss of this area. But there is kind of a safe spot, hopefully. And the boss turns out to be a big chicken man. So sometimes he can nudge you out of this. I should just shut up. Yeah, so now he will interrupt me a bit, but that's fine, whatever. Yeah, and this is gonna be weird. But this is basically one giant setup for the rare instance of us actually traversing the level out of bounds. This is just the beginning of it, don't worry about it.
Yeah, this is the Temple of Xi'an, and we finally got inside. Now that we had a key for it, and we were very close to picking up the dagger that we needed, but yeah, we fell into the trap, and we have to traverse level normally, except not really normally, as you can see. That level is full of deadly traps and floor that you're not supposed to touch. A lot of ladders that you're supposed to climb, but instead
Actually,
we do this.
I have no idea if I jumped the correct amount of time because I couldn't hear the jumps.
I'm so sorry.
We'll see. It's fine. So yeah, it will kind of, since we're out of bounds, the menu screen will get stuck. Just get used to it. Okay. Not okay? All of this makes sense.
No.
Big reveal? Okay.
I was slightly in doubt, but very nice.
Alright, so now we're in the floating islands, which are a very weird level. Also, presentation-wise, as you might be able to tell.
Yeah, there are islands and they are floating.
And so are the enemies. Some of them, at least.
But yeah, the main baddie of this game has stabbed himself with the dagger that we were trying to find for the whole game, and will be turning into something very scary that we're supposed to maybe get rid of at the end of this level. But for now, we just need to get to him first. And yeah, as you can see, there are a lot of jumps and will be for quite a while. We need to do a very specific setup here as well to drop to the specific point underneath us.
And then more out-of-bounds shenanigans.
But slightly less scary this time.
It's okay. That's actually already pretty much the end of Floating Islands. Which will now bring us to Dragon's Lair, which is the reason why we kind of wanted to stock up on medkits. It will be somewhat self-explanatory very soon.
Yeah, this place is extremely scary because we're getting pummeled by multiple enemies. We need to pick up an item. While we're picking up the item, we want to not die, then we want to use it and not die, and then go through the door while not dying. And we're very limited on med packs, especially if we get hit a lot.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, luckily I didn't have to waste too many earlier on. But yeah, that's why every medkit you have to use early on in the game can come back to bite you. And this is what we were saving up the grenade ammo for. You can just hide in this safe spot, so you can't really see it, but the dragon is actually obviously shooting fireballs at you, which hit the pillar, and we just sit here shooting 10 times with the grenade launcher, and that's it. Whoever this random dragon is, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, a dagger. That Lara might pick up at some point. Okay, thank you. Even though the dagger is still inside him, don't question it. It's okay. And yeah. Now things happen. And we run.
Yeah, it's weird how that previous room is actually way more scarier and
Yeah.
difficult in a run than this boss.
And yeah, now we're back home. You might even say
For a
this
very-
is home sweet home.
For a very good and relaxing evening, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Sounds like I have some visitors. But luckily, as everyone does, Lara has a hidden stash of shotgun ammo and a shotgun, I guess. I don't know. And also, luckily, some medkits. So yeah, this is the final level. You have to kill a certain number of normal grunts, which can come in the dog, in the wrench, or in the pistol variety. And then eventually the final boss will appear, which is just basically a gun guy with more health. So that's one dead. I think you have to kill 15 quote-unquote normal enemies. We have to go back here because there is one dog and one pistol guy that just usually would pretty much stay here forever. Dogs are one shot if you're close enough. Humans always take at least 2 hits, also depending on the distance, obviously. So that's 5, I think. I always lose count, so whatever. In the end, you just shoot until either you die or the game dies. I don't know.
Yeah, this level is a big RNG hell because if you are not doing any sort of setup, those enemies might take a while to find them around your manor, which is quite big, and they are just running around sporadically. But we are going in specific, well, I shouldn't say specific way, in specific directions, hoping that they will actually arrive back to us too. Those cars, but some of them are inside the building. Some of them are just coming back here, and we just hope that it happens
one is
sooner
missing.
rather than later.
Yeah.
One got lost somewhere.
Okay, so now the big guy should be here. So Jim, you can get ready on time. Yeah. So you will see when time is, I guess. Lara will let you know as well. And that's the final boss. And now we get a bit of a goodie. And then it will be time. So that should be in 3,
Don't you think you've seen
2,
enough?
1, now. Hooray. She killed everyone.
As she does.
Yeah, that is Tomb Raider 2, or rather that was Tomb Raider 2, I guess. Yeah, that's one of the classic Tomb Raiders, which I usually don't run, so this was quite fun. Something else. Thank you very much, Toxic, for enduring this.
Yeah, no problem.
Supplying the much-needed lore knowledge that I couldn't deliver, because all I am for this game is pretty much a glitch monkey. I look what other people do, I replicate it, but I have no real idea what is happening. Thank you, Shots Fired, for having me again. It's always a pleasure. Yeah, definitely enjoy the rest of the marathon. And have also a nice second half of this week. Anything else, Toxic?
No, I think we're good.
Alright, take care. Bye-bye.